and her stomach was flopped over her pelvic area, and her boobs were just resting on her extended stomach. I was just thinking, whoa, I have zero interest in my own wife's body. Well, there's partners who help you gain weight, there's partners that help you lose weight. But what I want to talk about is an episode that Seiko and Sharon Woods had done a while back. So they did this episode talking about how there's a particular post where a husband is venting about how his woman gained a lot of weight. I want y'all to read this post with me, and I'm going to tell y'all my perspective as a single, okay? Let's get into the post. This is from Relationship Rules. It was posted back on August 31st. It says, "My wife has gained so much weight. I've lost almost all attraction towards her. Let me start off and be clear. I love my wife. She's a great person, and she balances out my hardened nature with her kindness. However, I've lost pretty much all attraction towards her. When we first met, she was never a small gal, and that is completely okay. Let's remember that, y'all. She was never a small gal, and that is completely okay. But she has put on probably 200 pounds or so since we met, and about 140 to 150 of those pounds since we've been married, and it's only been 4.5 years. So just to break that down so far, she put on a total of 200 plus pounds, it sounds like. He said 200 plus, and she was already not a small gal, so let's keep that in mind as well. And 140 to 150 of those pounds were in the marriage. So she gained 60 pounds before they got married, but 140 to 150 pounds in addition, as they've been married for 4.5 years. Okay? She said, I stopped initiating intercourse gradually, and honestly, I didn't even notice it at first. Not until she broke down and started asking if I was cheating, because we hadn't been deeply intimate for 2 to 3 weeks. Then I was thinking, wow, she's right. So I started paying more attention, and I really just started noticing why. The come to Jesus moment was when I saw her getting out of the shower, and her stomach was flopped over her pelvic area, and her boobs were just resting on her extended stomach. I was just thinking, whoa, I have zero interest in my own wife's body. She knows she is overweight. We bought an exercise bike and got her on a Noom regimen, but she quit after maybe 3 weeks. I told her how I'm feeling and that it's having a direct effect on my physical attraction. That was an incredibly hard conversation to have. I'm just not a particularly emotional person, and we both cried during that convo. And for her to just quit casually makes me think she doesn't care about the relationship anymore. I've tried encouragement, but ultimately we've fallen back into the sexless marriage routine. She wants kids. Here we are. Okay, let me see where we at on this. Okay, she wants kids, and honestly, I can barely maintain an erection during sex, let alone an orgasm. I have to pretend I've ejaculated so she is content and doesn't have an emotional breakdown. I know that is a little bit of enabling, but it seems like that is something I could never tell her. Well, too late now, buddy. I'm starting to feel like I'm doomed to either be one of those stupid revenge weight loss divorce stories, or even worse. If we don't make it, she eats herself to death. But I no longer want children with a mother that can't even go on a hike or do the most mundane physical activities without making an excuse. A what's eating Gilbert grape isn't the life I want for my future kids. In a rare instance in my life, I have absolutely no idea what to do. Any ideas how to broach the subject matter or subject again with a more successful narrative? Note, my wife and me are of the same age, 29, and my looks are normal. I look fit. Y'all? Yes, you remember that? Very sad. Yes, I heard this story before. Ooh, that was heavy. Yep. That was very heavy. And I'm going to talk about it from a Christian perspective. I'm going to talk about it from a single perspective as well. Me being single, not being in a marriage. I'm going to break this down. In my opinion, right? Okay. First thing first, he said, my wife has gained so much weight, I've lost attraction. Oh, he should have, in my opinion, I really love the fact that he's bringing this to us instead of going out there cheating on his wife. He's bringing this to us, okay? He could have just said, I'm going to divorce you. You are a glutton. I'm leaving you, right? It's a lot to it. If she doesn't have any health issues, we got to figure out what's going on. But there has to be a health issue somewhere. The reason I say that is because there's no way that she is gaining weight at that rapid pace. Like there's something mental. If it's not a health issue, like physical health issue, there's a mental issue. And I think she needs some therapy. That's the first thing, because you put her on a Noom regimen. You talking about, we bought an exercise, we bought an exercise bike. We put her on a Noom regimen, but she quit after maybe 3 weeks. I think the problem is that, are you doing this with her? Because for me, I'm not going to be motivated if my man isn't doing this with me, especially if I didn't do it by myself prior to him recognizing it. That to me is a problem. It seems like you're forcing her, but if you're not working alongside her, even if you are fit, you can stand to get fitter. Okay, there's no such thing as perfect health, perfect looks, right? You can work on something as well. That means you should be doing that with her, because if you just telling her, get on your bike, it's time to do it, then that means at this point she gonna be like, you over here treating me like a slave. I don't need to do nothing for you because you obviously loved me before. You said I was a small gal when you met me. I wasn't a small gal when you met me, so that means you obviously like this weight. And this is where you have to have these conversations beforehand. You have to kind of see what somebody's workout lifestyle is prior to. My previous ex, we met up at the gym for the first date. Okay, I wanted to see what the stamina was looking like. I wanted to see what was going on, what you look like behind a Facebook screen, what you look like behind a phone screen. That's why I did a workout with my previous ex. Okay, for that reason. I'm telling you, you have to see what's going on if you're into that lifestyle. But back to it. You stop initiating the intercourse, because again, you cannot make yourself become physically attracted to somebody that you're not physically attracted to. I understand that. Dang, but the conversation had to be had, but I think it's more so, don't be just putting her on things. She has to decide for herself that she wants to be put on something, because she may just be fine with it. And if she is, then y'all need to go to therapy anyway, together. Couples therapy. Instead of putting up a Facebook post, y'all need to go to therapy. But dang, you faking faking the orgasms and all that stuff. And I'd be like, I'm not going to play with you, because I'm not about to fake anything. So I'm going to let you know that we're going to have to do something here, because especially y'all haven't had any kids and she's 29, she's going to end up on a 600-pound life if you don't put a stop to this now. Because think about this. She was already overweight, and then she put on 200 plus pounds. So she's at least 300 pounds. I say at least probably like 350, since she wasn't a small gal. So I say she's at least 350 right now at 29, and y'all haven't had any kids. And then you want her to have kids for you. But it's unhealthy sometimes for an overweight woman to have kids. It's a risk that you put your children at, and you put her at when you have a child when you're overweight. And I'm not saying like heavy on the stamina, okay? Heavy on the stamina. Something's going on. He probably is giving her grief. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's not all to blame. And if she's depressed, she only get bigger. A vicious cycle. That's what I'm saying. She's not all to blame. And Red Edge said, what I heard was he told her what he wanted and gave her stuff to help. But some people in those situations help when they want a partner to do it with them. Can you be, because we are one. You're my husband. That means we should be doing stuff together to help each other out. You are the leader, and you just buying me things. I don't need that, because like, seriously, this is how I am with my lack of what's the word? Determination sometimes. I'm the type of person where you could buy me a treadmill, put it in the house and everything, but that thing will collect dust. I have to go out and go to the gym so I can see other people and won't have an excuse to not complete my workout. Because I will stop doing my workout when nobody else is watching. But when there's people watching me, I have those accountability partners. They don't know they're my accountability partners, but they are. They are at the gym. Because if people are watching me, oh yeah, I'm working out hard. I'm doing that extra rep. All because I need to do it. But as soon as they stop looking at me, as soon as I'm in the house, that machine is going to collect dust. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's why everybody has different factors that work for them. Yep. Okay, so I had a running date with a marathon runner once. Bad life decision right there. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not a runner. I'm just let people know I'm not a runner whatsoever. I run sometimes on that treadmill, 9.5. Oh, no, 9.5. I'm lying to myself. What did I get to? I got to 9 one time, but I run 7.5 right now. But yeah, back to it. What would y'all do? Y'all in the chat. I'm just telling y'all my opinion, but it's a we problem. I agree with that. As husband and wife, y'all gonna have to figure it out, have that conversation with her, because all this is being typed up to us so we can give our opinions. But I think that you need to go to a therapist. Y'all need to have a strong support system, and you need to be a strong support system for her. You are the husband. You have the final say. And you just set yourself up for failure when you buy things for her that you're not doing with her, because she's Doesn't have any motivation. She has to decide for herself that that's something she wants to do. Because if she wasn't really physically fit before and didn't have that regimen in place, then you can't just like just spring that on her. Expect her to get on board and everything's gonna go back to normal. And you said her boobs are resting on her extended stomach and all this is going on. But I think women, we have to realize that if we don't have any health issues, there's nothing with going on a nature walk. There's nothing wrong with that. Shout out to Latanya once again for getting her 4.5 miles in. There's nothing wrong with a nature walk. There's nothing wrong with working out 3 times a week minimum at a local gym. Get you the cheapest membership, $9.99 is like the going rate. Some places $9.95. But do that for yourself because you want to live a long life, because we don't realize that over time, life expectancy will decrease with these habits. You put that bad fuel in, that car is going to eventually break down. And you don't want that to be the final straw for you. And I think you have a lot of life left. At 29 years old, you have a lot of life left. But this man doesn't want to have kids with you because he don't want his kids to go through the same thing that you're going through right now.